For me, it's all about the imagination and projection that we have as humans. I'm Julius von Bismarck, and I'm an artist based in Berlin, but my practice is very international. A lot of works I do on site in different countries. I'm very, very happy to have the chance to develop a show here. Yeah, why am I so interested in the relationship between us and what we call nature? I think it's a key for a lot of things that are going wrong right now. We are misunderstanding our position, and I don't know where this comes from. While I'm researching, I'm also trying to change that relationship, because I think it needs to change. I'm hoping to talk about these issues, not with words, but with art, to inspire people to change their view and rethink what the world actually is.
So This Is Not the Storm is really 4 bodies of work from Julius von Bismarck. We've taken works from the past 15 years or so of Julius's work, as well as a major new commission. As I kind of put together the various works in this show, I realised that there weren't any that really exemplified the way that Julius often works with mechanical kind of installations or kinetic sculptural forms. So we really kind of honed in on that as something that we would like to develop, a kind of iteration of that kind of work here in Australia.
So we ended up working a lot here. These things are complicated in museums, also in another country. It took a bit longer to cast the heads. We're not casting experts, it's something we do every now and then as a studio, but it's not something we do every day. So we a little bit underestimated of how long it will take to cast these heads. We actually had a great time, even though it was a lot of work. The rock is very important in this work. We ended up using a rock that was lying in front of the museum anyway. It looked perfect. We put it on a scale and it was 20 kilos, and the head's also 20 kilos, so it fits perfectly. Almost every philosophical book will mention a rock at some point. It is the go-to example of something that is not alive. But it doesn't make any sense for me, because the rocks wouldn't exist without biological life, and biological life wouldn't exist without the rocks. Everything has agency or can have agency. This installation is triggering that. So if you look at this, sometimes the rock seems to be chasing the heads. Sometimes the head might be chasing the rocks. Right now, I think the rock crashed into one of the heads, which is a violent act. Violence can only be committed by something with agency. It's a little bit about maybe changing your idea of what is passive and what is active.
I've been in correspondence with Julius's team over the past 18 months, but having people that he works with in his studio every day and understand his thinking and his making process, coming here and helping realise this, it absolutely couldn't have happened without Martin and Lara as part of that process. So it was a real treat to have them here. It also meant that we could do the project and kind of take that big risk.
In the first video room, you have a projection on the ceiling, so you can actually lie down. It's called Geh aus mein Herz. It's based on a song that my family is singing always when there's a wedding or a funeral. So it's a song that is touching me because I always heard it in these moments. And it's that Christian idea of nature that I'm talking about here, because it's a Christian song that is often sung in churches. The video is showing a forest from above that was a very important forest for me as a kid. It's shot from a helicopter, and it's showing the wind of the helicopter bending the trees and blowing off the leaves, which is very beautiful, gentle thing in the beginning, but then slowly it gets fall and it's blowing off the leaves. You see the effect of you being there. You're supposed to fall asleep to that. I think the moment where you fall asleep and wake up and fall asleep again is the moment where you're closer to your subconsciousness. Our relationship to nature is quite deep buried in our subconsciousness. We have the work I'm Afraid I Must Ask You to Leave, which is a collaboration with Julius von Bismarck, which we did in Mexico. We rebuilt natural monuments from the US. It was a lot of work and a lot of people. A lot of rock was moved, like really full-scale natural monuments, a stone arc and a stone column and 2 hoodoos. In the end, we blew them up with explosives and shot videos of that and published these as fake news in social media, pretending that this happened in the US. Our imagined story would be that because Trump exited the Paris Climate Agreement, that some eco-terrorists would fight back by blowing up natural monuments in the US. The last room, there's a video work called Irma to Come in Earnest, The title is inspired by the news coverage about that hurricane. It was one of the biggest hurricanes so far that was about to hit Cuba and Florida. I thought a hurricane is something different, something that I really need to explore more. And so I bought a slow motion camera and got the last flight that got me there. And we managed to get in the eye of the hurricane, which was a very special moment. And the movie is an attempt to translate the hurricane to a human speed. I'm trying to slow down the hurricane to a speed where it's dancing very slowly, so it's more friendly, a way to kind of meet the hurricane halfway between you and its own speed. One of my oldest works here is called Punishment. It's a series of works that I did inspired by Xerxes, who, according to history, sent out his troops to punish the ocean after it destroyed a bridge. I wanted to know what it means to do that today. I visited Rio de Janeiro and I had a whip in my bag and I saw the ocean there, and it was exactly the ocean that I imagined that was punished by Xerxes. So I thought that's a perfect ocean to punish. And so I did it and just asked my friend next to me to shoot it with the crappy camera he had on hand. And this is still a really important video for me. This is something that you cannot plan. This is something that sometimes just happens.
I would say it's an exhibition that you need to take a bit of time in. One of the great things about Julius is he works on lots of different levels. So I think within any work, there's kind of a multitude of narratives, and it's really nice to have the time to kind of contemplate those and kind of really allow yourself to kind of engage with them.
If I'm able to change your idea of the world with what I'm presenting you here in the museum, if I can achieve that, everything is allowed to achieve that.